What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledParents.
This story's called A Costco Pharmacy Entitled Mom Met a Certified Karen. We have all met our share of Karens, but sometimes they're so obnoxious that you wonder how they've managed to get this far in life being so entitled. I wish I had recorded this, but I was also incredulous and didn't know what to do. I was at Costco picking up a prescription at the pharmacy. They have a yellow line that you are supposed to stand behind while you wait, so as to give the patient privacy as they're speaking to the pharmacy assistant. The line kind of directs you behind the pharmacy, but it's obvious when there are people waiting. No big deal, right? Not for a Karen. The cast. Entitled mother, whose actual name is Karen, I crap you not. Spawn 1, about 4. Spawn 2, about 8. Pharmacy assistant. Angry man. Stoner bro. Department head of pharmacy. Things seemed to be a bit hectic at the Costco pharmacy. There was only one assistant doing the pickups, and I could sense that things were busy behind the scenes. An older couple in front of me were concerned about the medication and said they couldn't read. So they had the assistant read the drug pamphlet to them. They were there for about 10 minutes, and it was a bit frustrating, but what can you do but wait? So I was next in line, standing way back behind the yellow line. There were a handful of people behind me. While I was waiting, I could hear a kid throwing a tantrum somewhere in the pharmacy department. The older couple was finishing up with the farm assistant, and then suddenly this woman appeared between the adjacent aisles, huffing and puffing. Her Spawn 1 was literally gripping to her legs as she walked. She showed up in such a flurry of anger, you could feel the energy shift. So I was careful not to make eye contact. She started tapping her foot, and I was starting to wonder what she was doing there. Then the older couple started pushing their cart away. I started to walk toward the counter. She wags her finger toward me. It's my turn. Meanwhile, the older couple turned back to the pharmacist. They have, "One more question," I say to the entitled mother. There's actually a whole line here. It's my turn next. The line is back there. Ha! Well, why aren't you standing here if you're in line? She says with actual air quotes. As this sign says here, they want us to stand back here to give the patient privacy? We have all been waiting for quite some time. Then the older couple actually finishes up. I start to try to walk in front of the entitled mother. Entitled mother steps in and holds her hands up towards me, starts saying something to the farm assistant. "This is ridiculous! Get to the back of the line and wait like the rest of us. We all saw you get here after us. Wait in line." Ma'am, they are correct. They have been waiting in line, and I'm gonna have to ask you to step to the back of the line and wait. Oh, they're gonna be fine with me going first. She summons her other Spawn. Spawn 2 appears from one of the aisles, looking content. Then entitled mother says, "Honey," and snaps her fingers. Spawn 2 out of nowhere, and starts stomping, sobbing, and screaming as loud as possible. "Look at us, I'm sure you want me to go first so I can get this child away from you. Did you teach her to do that? Am I actually witnessing this? Did you just signal to your child to start screaming? Get to the back of the line." "Nope, my kid needs to go to bed. I'll be quick and then I'll leave with my kids and you can talk to the pharmacist in peace. You'll understand when you have children one day." Ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to cooperate or I will call security. Security? Security? My child is tired and hungry. You're gonna call security on my poor child? This is ridiculous. Let me talk to your manager. I can't believe we're being treated like this. My children are tired. Crap. We got ourselves a Karen, everyone. Entitled mother spins on her heels and stomps closer. What did you just say? How do you know my name? Tell me now, young man, how do you know my name? Wait, your actual name is Karen? You can't write this crap, man. I start laughing. The angry man behind me starts snickering. Stoner bro is laughing. This has become a comedy sketch. Ma'am, I'm calling security. We have several patients to get through and you're being disruptive. I see her pop into the other side and say something to whom I assume to be a pharmacist. Now entitled mother totally flips her feces. My children need to get home. Just let me get my prescription and leave. Do you know how much money I spend here? Do you know how long I've been a member? She pulls a card from her pocket. Look at that. Look! She snaps her fingers. Right here, member since 2012. 2012. Can you read that? For 7 years, I've spent an exorbitant amount of money here. You do not want me to take my business elsewhere. Department head pharmacist appears. What's the issue here, folks? This woman here. Great. You're here. I need to make a complaint. I've been waiting patiently, then all these people are trying to get me to go to the back of the line. My children are impatient and hungry. I need to get going, and this woman here is being difficult, and I'd like to report her to management to be reprimanded. I just want to get my prescription and I will leave. She cut in front of everyone. Ma'am, I just dealt with you over there when you dropped off your prescription. We told you it would be an hour. It wasn't you, it was someone else. That racial slur there. And I don't care, go back and fill my prescription. My kids are screaming and tired. By this point, the kids were literally doing nothing, but then heard her say this and started screaming lacklusterly. I have security on their way. He turns to me. How about farm assistant helps you here? Excuse me, I am voiced. I demand you get my prescription. I am a paying customer. So are all these people. Your prescription won't even be finished for another hour, and you are going to be escorted out of here for disrupting the store. Security shows up. Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to come with me. You're being rude and disrespectful. Let's go sort this out privately. Absolutely not. You cannot make me do anything. I know my rights. I am leaving to get a refund for my membership. You people will never see a dime from me again. And storms off as security follows her. Bye, Karen. Then I proceeded to finally go to the counter and get my prescription, apologizing to the farm assistant on behalf of Karen. The farm assistant tells me quietly that she's dealt with her before, but she's never been that bad. And yes, the kids cry on demand. I hear angry man behind me saying that he sincerely hopes they call child services because those poor kids are being taught to be brats. Stoner Bro just laughs and says, I can't believe we all met a Karen in the wild. What a trip. Wow, that's okay. I feel bad for those kids, but honestly, you have to admire. She made them cry on command. She knew what she was doing. Wow. Okay, well, obviously, bad woman. Very bad woman. Horrible mother, obviously, but you gotta admire that. That's some strategy right there. This story's called, My Extra Large Mother Thought She Could Fit Into My Medium Shirt. So I grew up being underweight, 162 centimeters tall, 50 kilograms. Then I went to America for 12 months. I came home with the 15 extra kilograms weight gained, and it was super traumatizing. The first thing that my adopted mom said when she saw me, oh my god, you're a giant now! While she had her quadruple XL body squeezed in a 2XL top, and some pants that showed the line of her underwear. Maybe be pretty like your cousin? I still remember this because I just got back home and she, instead of welcoming me, made comments about my weight, my face, and everything. Anyways, a few months later, I managed to lose 5 kilograms. But I was never big when I gained weight either. However, my adopted mom would fit me into these quadruple XL clothes, so I felt like I was too big for medium clothes. But that's not what my adopted mom saw. She thought I was the same size as her, so she'd keep donating her ginormous clothes to me. Then I found this one shirt that she previously owned. It's a brown top with satin fabric. The buttons are aligned perfectly. Its shape is for professional social gatherings. However, it was a medium size, so I didn't know if I could fit into it at all. I thought I was as big as those people on my 600-pound life. I tried. It fitted. It looked great for once. I looked like a normal human being and not a drug dealer wannabe with the clothes I had been wearing. My adopted mom saw me wearing it but didn't say anything. She just looked at me, then walked away. I asked her if I could keep it and she nodded. A couple of weeks passed by and I was on a trip with my current partner. I got back home to get ready for the new semester at the university. Then I saw that shirt. Here's the cast. My adopted mother, my grandmother, and me. Grandma, what happened to this? I don't know, kiddo. Looks broken though. It is broken. The buttons are missing and the underarm sleeves are kaput. Did the washer do this? I don't think the washing machine could have done that either. Ask your mother. So I took the shirt and asked my mother. What is it now? This shirt is ruined? Wear it properly next time then. I was gone for weeks and didn't take it with me. Well, it is only you who wears that shirt. I doubt it, so I asked her if she still wanted it. Obviously didn't fit me. What do you mean? It's broken, can't you see? Yeah, and I'm wondering why it's broken. It didn't fit me, duh. So you wore it. Then she went quiet. Obviously I wore it because we're the same size. You're even bigger, so it should fit me if it fit your quadruple XL body. I went quiet. I looked at her and just facepalmed. Really? I mean, how is a medium going to fit on a quadruple XL body? This was the first time I actually noticed how freaking delusional my adopted mother was and is. The top got wrecked by her, and she was pretty flabbergasted as to how it was destroyed when she wore it. Ha ha! F my life. That top could never be replaced. It was the only piece of clothing that made me look like a human being. This story's called Entitled Dad Demands Used Car Be Given to His Son Instead of Serious Buyers. I'm relaying this story as told to me by my friend, a mechanic trying to help out his brother as he encounters an entitled dad. We'll call him the mechanic in the story. The mechanic's brother recently got a new job. To get to this job every day, he borrowed his father-in-law's car. He did not know how long he would be able to use the car and didn't have the money to buy his own. The mechanic offered to find a cheap car, fix it up, and give it to his brother who might pay him back someday in the future. The first person the mechanic checked with was his boss. The boss owned and managed the shop the mechanic worked at and had a side business fixing up and flipping cars. He sold the mechanic a '98 Toyota Corolla at cost that still needed to be fixed up for $600. The mechanic told his brother that a car was on the way and started fixing it up. He spent $175 on the parts, bringing the total cost to $775. With the car fixed and ready, the brother informed his father-in-law that he would be returning the borrowed car. The father-in-law had a surprise. His intention all along was to give the car to him as a gift. He was waiting for his daughter's fast-approaching wedding anniversary to announce it. He had no knowledge of the mechanic's efforts to this point. The mechanic told his boss he would be willing to buy it back at $775, but then the labor would be for nothing. The boss convinced him to try to sell the car himself. He listed the car at $1,100, knowing he would be haggled down, and received quite a few inquiries. Only 2 were interested enough to come out to see the car. He scheduled them on the same day, an hour apart. The time for the first showing came and went with no one showing up. The mechanic assumed they were no longer interested and waited for the second appointment. Right on time for the second showing, 2 men arrived. The mechanic greeted them and they immediately started discussing the car. They talked about mileage, reliability, the work done on the car, all the normal stuff. Then they went on a test drive. Enter the entitled dad. When the potential buyers returned from the test drive with the mechanic, there was a car full of people waiting for them. A man got out of the car from the driver's seat. The mechanic approached him. Before he could speak, the man said,
"Where the hell have you been?"
The mechanic was shocked. "And you are?"
"We had an appointment."
"That was over an hour ago," the mechanic replied. He assumed the man was referring to the earlier appointment. A teenage boy emerged from the passenger seat. "Is that my car, Daddy?" the teen asked.
"Yes, son, it will be soon."
The mechanic was somewhat dumbfounded. He looked at the car that the entitled dad and his son had arrived in and saw a woman and 2 small children in the back seat. It looked like they were keeping their heads down. The teen approached the car for sale as the 2 potential buyers that had just test drove it moved away, one of them on his phone. "It's rusty," the teen said while pointing to a rust spot on the passenger door.
"Yeah, it looks pretty crappy."
Entitled dad turned to the mechanic.
"Does this piece of sushi even run?"
"You saw us arrive in it, and you saw the rust spot in the photos."
"Not worth the asking price."
"Those other guys were on time, so you can wait if—"
"You scheduled 2 showings at the same time."
"No, you were late." The mechanic turned away to talk to the potential buyers.
"Hey!"
Entitled dad exclaimed.
"Forget those guys, I will give you $550 in cash."
One of the potential buyers laughed. The entitled dad amused him. The mechanic continued to face away from entitled dad. "If you're not serious about this, just leave," he said while walking toward the potential buyers. Entitled dad's son got in the car and sat in the driver's seat.
"Hey!"
The mechanic knew that they left the key in the ignition. The next moment, the engine rumbled to life and the teen sat back in the seat with his hands on the steering wheel.
"Hey!"
The mechanic yelled again and ran to the driver's side door, which was still open. He reached in and shut the car off, taking the keys.
"Get out!"
"Daddy!" The teenager called out. It creeped the mechanic out how the teenage boy kept calling his father Daddy.
Are you okay, son?
Entitled Dad glared at the mechanic.
He's trying it out.
No, he's not. Take your kid and leave. The teen ran from the car and leaned against his father's side with an exaggerated sad face.
He's just a kid,
Entitled Dad explained.
He wants a car, so give him the car and you'll get your $550.
We'll take it.
The potential buyer who was on his phone a moment ago called out, making sure that everyone could hear him.
We'll pay what we agreed to.
They had not agreed to anything yet, but the mechanic jumped on his chance for an out. Sorry, you've been outbid. $550 is way too low.
Anyone who pays more for this piece of sundress is a moron.
Entitled Dad roughly grabs his son's wrist and practically throws him into their car. Without another word, he drives off. One of the potential buyers could not hide his amusement and kept laughing. The other smiled at the mechanic.
We really do want the car, he said. Now that booty hole is gone, we can talk about the price. If you agree to $980, we can give that to you in cash right now.
The mechanic agreed, making a $200 plus profit. Okay, what was that story? I'm very concerned. Was the teenage boy his sugar baby or something? That's the only explanation. What?
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.